Believe Podcast Network here. Joshua Fisher, one of the producers, joined by four of the big blue bloods in college basketball. Selection Sunday is upon us. It's happened. We have our brackets, a lot of firepower. Tom Brady's unretired, hijacking Selection Sunday, as Jack Ferris representing Gonzaga said before we recorded. We got Travis Reed representing UCLA, Vinny Hardy representing Kentucky, and we have Shelden Williams representing Duke. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing today?
Good. Thank you.
Is that a Bill Walton Pac-12 tie-dye shirt?
I'm so happy you asked me. I had Jack, you've guested on my podcast before, and we had Bill Walton on our show maybe a year and a half ago. So I got the shirt for when he came on. And I don't know if you guys have ever met Bill Walton, but it was the craziest hour of my entire life.
No, he's crazy. He's definitely crazy.
Yeah.
I met him many times, talked to him many times, or tried to talk to him.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it, Travis. All right, we'll start with the number one overall seed, Jack. Last year, we thought that was a team of destiny. I've said it was the best college basketball team I've ever seen last year, and they got blown out by Baylor. What's different this year? What makes you think you guys can take the title? And what's your gut check reaction seeing the bracket?
I've done a couple of pods already this week leading up to today, and I'll tell you what I've said on those pods. The last 4 or 5 years, I don't think I've ever been less confident going into a tournament.
Wow.
This is a very good Gonzaga team. This is a Gonzaga team that is certainly capable of cutting down the nets in New Orleans in 3 weeks' time. But I think this Gonzaga team loses to last year's team 7 out of 10 times. For example, however, do they match up a little bit better with last year's Baylor team? Probably. Defensively, they're much better. Mm-hmm. But if you've watched this Gonzaga team, obviously there's star power there. The bigs are as good as anyone in the country. I just think the confidence in the guard play position is not totally there. And I don't mean to sound like old radio guy, but we all know what it takes to win in March, and it's experienced, confident guard play. And it's not to say that Gonzaga's guards aren't capable of doing that completely.
Okay.
So I'm cautiously optimistic. And I think the number one overall seed in this tournament is very beatable. And I see some smiles on this podcast.
Vinny, we saw you make some faces at Jack when he was being cautiously optimistic with his number one overall seed team. How do you feel about Gonzaga being the top overall seed? How do you feel about Kentucky?
Feel good about Kentucky as long as they're healthy. I hadn't, last year's team as far as Gonzaga. I mean, we saw them do what they do, and hadn't watched this year's team as close, so I was just surprised to hear Jack say what he said. But finally they kind of break through until they play Baylor, and maybe you can still kind of be apprehensive when you see what they did last year compared to this year. I get that. As far as Kentucky, it's just kind of being healthy. That's been their main bugaboo when they have lost games. They got to get right in the half court, though, because when they play a really good defensive team, they have, had a losing record. He got clamped by Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Tennessee kept the tempo in their favor. Kentucky couldn't get out and run and couldn't do what they want to do in transition. So that kind of slow down and grind out kind of thing can be a concern, especially when the guards play like they played against Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Do you Grady Wheeler was rough?
Who would you say Oscar is the national player of the year in your opinion?
When you look at what he's done historically, I think you kind of have to say so. And as far as the rebounding, as far as him consistently doing it all year long, I kind of have to give him the nod for him being able to do that from start to finish pretty much all season.
Yeah, absolutely. No shy to defense. We got Shelden Williams, 2-time defensive player of the year in the ACC. Shelden, your team's a little young, but they got the firepower. How do you feel about Duke on the opposite side of the bracket against Gonzaga?
Well, that necessarily doesn't really bother me. It's more so I'm looking at the bracket right now. We still got to get past a Michigan State and potential Alabama team before we even get that far. And as we all know, there's no true team this year that, we know they for sure going to be in the Final Four, that type thing. So it's going to be a great March because of that. Not necessarily because, I'm not sure about my team going as deep, but as far as a fan, I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a great time just to sit back and have some hot wings and watch games, every weekend, that type thing. So, but no, I mean, having Gonzaga is my least worry. As we've shown the last week, losing to Carolina and then also losing to a hungry V-Tech team. No shade to those teams, but they both played really well both those games. We didn't play our part. We got to take it one game at a time. And as of right now, we're looking at the potential second round matchup being Michigan State, and then the third round being potential Alabama. I just got to take it one game at a time. I can't look that far ahead.
Absolutely.
Coach speak, baby.
Sheldon, were you surprised to be in the West? I feel like Coach K's never coached a game in California.
No, my freshman year, we wound up getting the last and 1 seed, and he shipped us all the way out to the West. Was the last 1 seed or first 2 seed? I can't remember. But he shipped us all the way out West. We played in Salt Lake City the first 2 rounds, and then we went to Anaheim and lost to Kansas in Elite Eight, I believe, when they wind up beating
Memphis.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. So, but that year, that's when Melo won in Syracuse.
Yeah, I thought you guys would go to Chicago, San Antonio. The last team I expected to see in San Francisco was Duke, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great to go back to Chicago, where Coach K is from. Kind of have like a hopefully, well, I say redemption, but every time we have a redemption game or something like that, it don't go our way. So, but it'd been nice to actually have him go back home and play in front of his hometown team and family and everything like that. It would have been kind of cool, but that's not how the story went out this year. We just gotta take care of our own, and hopefully we'll play well, play better than what we've been playing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Last but not least, Travis, I know you feel confident in your team after what they did last year in March. Now UCLA is a 4 seed this time around. How are you feeling about your side of the bracket?
Well, first I want to say I wish it was 2 teams, UCLA and Long Beach State. They lost at the buzzer last night against Cal State Fullerton, but that's another story. UCLA as a 4, I thought they could have moved up to a 3 because I thought they played Arizona well, really well last night. For them, I look at their first game against Akron. I think they should win, and then the next game probably against St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's wins the Sweet 16, but their matchup, I think, is the Baylor matchup in the Sweet 16 game if Baylor gets there. Physical teams give UCLA problems, and Baylor's big and physical.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will be their hard game. I think they match up really good against Kentucky. I would pray that Johnny Juzang could play against Kentucky this year in the tournament. Oh my God, that would be like a dream game for me, because I think that'd be like one of his historic games that he might go 0 for 17 or go like 14 for 20 and go like 40 points. You know what I'm saying? Because he left Kentucky to go to UCLA. So, Oh, by the way, you see, I was telling Vinny, I was like, watch, they're going to put the Blue Bloods in all one bracket. What do? North Carolina, UCLA, Kentucky, all in the same bracket.
It's crazy.
And I'm just like, okay. I just felt like they always be trying to make them knock each other out.
And Murray State.
And the potential, exactly, Jack, for Murray, because Murray's been wanting a home and home with Kentucky for years, and Kentucky's not going to go out there to play Murray back. And so the NCAA is like, we'll take care of this as best we can. Let's get that little second round Murray as a 7.
Dude, Murray as a 7, and they're 30-2. They're 30-2. How are they a 7?
It's crazy. It is really nuts. Okay, of the 4 teams, Jack, we'll start with you. Gonzaga, UCLA, Kentucky, and Duke, the 4 guys in the pod. Which team loses first?
Oh God, great question. Way to set me up to meet and make new friends here.
I got you. You know how I do, Jack.
I honestly, this is not a slide at Vinny, but I have to make a decision here, Vinny. I'm sorry. And we just talked about Murray State. I really like San Francisco. I've seen them up close a couple of times. They have really good guards. They get up in your sets defensively. They frustrate teams, and they get up and go too. They're not, traditionally when you have athletic guards. They grind you out defensively. These guards get up and go. It's going to be tough for Kentucky to get out of that second round, be it Murray State or San Francisco. And I think it's going to be San Francisco. I think Kentucky wins that game, but if I had to pick gun to head who loses first of the four, I'd have to say Kentucky. I'm sorry, Vinny.
Wow. All right, Vinny. Here we'll go to you, man. Who loses the first of the four, you guys?
I mean, it's I'm not trying to do turnabout's fair play, but after Jack kind of detracted from his squad and kind of put chinks in the armor, Boise, Memphis State, the 8-9, and Penny's kind of brought him back from the dead. I didn't think he'd have him here based on the way he started, and he cussing everybody out and is falling apart. The first part of the year. Maybe Gonzaga. I got not just because Jack said it, but it just plays out with you asking us both when you ask us. So I'm gonna say the Zags.
I'm terrified of Memphis. I really am. And Boise State head coach is Leon Rice. Leon Rice coached at Mark Few for a decade in Spokane, so he knows the program really well. That's a rough draw for us for sure.
Yeah,
and I don't feel great about it.
NCAA doesn't miss a storyline, Jack. They do not.
I think you guys play Boise State, you blow them out for some reason. I think Memphis is a much harder draw because they're a physical team, and Gonzaga usually has problems with physical teams in the tournament. So hence it happened with Baylor last year. Physical athletic teams give Gonzaga problems.
That's code for Travis saying Gonzaga's soft. For those of you reading through the lines there,
they're extremely talented. But
yeah. Great X's and O's. Yeah.
Physical teams give them problems. I think they should win. They should beat Memphis. But Memphis is talented. They got a lottery pick in the big man, and they've been playing better since the other lottery pick left. So, that's a tough 8-9 matchup.
Absolutely. So who are you going with, Travis? Who gets eliminated first of you four?
I would honestly say, I was thinking about Gonzaga, but honestly, I would have to go with what he said with the Murray State and Kentucky.
Wow.
Vinny's my boy, but only reason I said it is because when I watched when they played Tennessee and they couldn't handle Tennessee off the bounce. Tennessee was killing them off the bounce. Mm-hmm. And Tennessee's their guards are not even as good as Murray State's guards. I think Oscar Sheway could be the difference as far as Murray State has nobody that can guard Oscar Sheway. But the problem is, like I said, Grady and Mintz off the bounce, you can take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Tennessee was, like I said, just clear out off the dribble, layup. And if you stop Kentucky from getting on that fast break and make it play half court offense and Grady ain't hitting, they're a different team. If he doesn't hit from the outside, they're a different team.
Mm-hmm. Shelden, how about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't go with my gut this year because it's been so chaotic, the way things been falling out and everything. I liked Memphis at first when they made a little surge late, but then I didn't like the way they actually got blown out by Houston, I believe it was.
Yeah.
The tournament game. I didn't like that fact. Honestly, I kind of like the fact that Indiana is now playing well. They could be a sleeper team. But again, you can't put all stock in one team because they might fool you, and then all of a sudden they won't play nowhere near the team that they played. When they beat Illinois. Who were they beating the championship?
Yeah, they lost to Iowa.
Yeah, but they had beaten Illinois earlier.
Illinois though.
Yeah.
They beat Illinois, but they lost.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You see a team you see potential, and they could actually be playing well, and all of a sudden, I don't know, but I think that could be a sleeper team just because I know they have one of their main stars out, but they look like they've actually turn the page, that type thing. I don't know too much about San Fran. Y'all talking about with San Fran. I know Murray State has been playing well with 30-2. But it's a toss-up between UCLA and Kentucky for me, being the first team to lose.
UCLA ain't losing. We ain't losing, Shelden.
It's funny.
It's funny. Shelden to read your shirt right now, ain't you, Trav? He's like, read my shirt.
Chill.
Jack alluded to it at the top. Jack, you're talking about one of the key things is great veteran guard play. Shelden, we'll start with you, man. What's the most important thing you think a team needs to win March Madness?
Outside of good players?
Outside of good players.
Honestly, consistency. We're not, unless you're a mid-major type team, we're not in a time where there's a lot of veteran teams. And that's the one thing that kind of scares a lot of the bigger schools because they're a lot of one and done. I mean, like a team like a Murray State is 30-2. You may not put a lot of stock into that, but they're more of a veteran team than these one and done type guys. So that's one thing that kind of scares me with a lot of these teams. I feel like having that type of team that's been 3 to 4 years on the team, they've been playing bad. They know how to play through rough situations, go through adversities. Just having that, it's a big factor right there. Just playing with veteran leadership. I think that's the key for March Madness this year. Also, consistency. You got people that actually can play well, not solely dependent on a jump shot. And be able to mix it up and get into the paint when they need to get to the paint and get a basket. I think those are key, whether it be versatile fours or, really athletic guards. I think those are the keys, especially for this year.
Nice. Love that. Travis, what about you, man?
No, guard play is always the difference in the tournament. Veteran guard teams, if you notice, a lot of them have, either excellent guards like Gonzaga had last year. They had an excellent freshmen and veteran guards to go along with the teams. Because I would say I played at a high level school at UCLA and a mid-major at Long Beach State. The guard play is kind of similar. It's the big man that separates, from mid-majors to majors. I think this year there's no dominant team. There are good teams. There's a bunch of good teams that could win it. But guard play for me got to be no turnovers, no bad shots, running the offense, getting through stuff. Got to be hitting outside shots. You got to be able to score, especially nowadays. That's why I feel like another sleeper could be Iowa because they can score. They can score with anybody, and they can shoot it. They've been shooting it outstanding these last couple games. So it got to be guard play. Got to be guard play.
Absolutely.
The refs call it tight in the tournament sometimes. So big man like Oscar Shiwa, he fouled out yesterday.
Yes.
With 4 minutes left. Mm-hmm. So they called it a little bit tighter, man. So depending on the refs. Mm-hmm. So the guards got to determine,
It's a great point. He fouled out with a full Lord of the Rings movie to go, man. There's a lot of time left in that clock. Vinny, how about you, man?
It's hard to go against the guard play for the simple fact, like y'all talk about, execution, late game situations is close, it's tight. Mm-hmm. You need to, have somebody that can get everybody where they need to be, have that common presence. You need a bucket, you know who's hot, all that stuff. It tilts towards the guard. It's been that way for years. I mean, look at little El Amin from Connecticut back in the day. Just a guard that needs to just handle business, calm everybody down. If he needs to make a bucket, fine. He needs to drop a dime. Whatever he needs to do, it's in his hands to do what needs to be done at that time. So it's hard to go against a good backcourt. The dudes at UConn, Boatwright and Napier and Kemba Walker. We've seen it time and time again. It just tilts. And we got bigs on this podcast, but the barometer shifts towards the guard play. No disrespect, Shelden and Travis.
Jack, you started us off with the guard play. Is there anything else that hasn't been mentioned that you think is a major key?
I think, all the guys hit it right on the head. I think you need a killer. You need one guy on the team who is not afraid of anything, who wants to take the fight to the other team. And I'll take it one step further beyond guard play, and that's just shot making. In the tournament, every team is going to face adversity. It's going to feel like all the momentum in the world is against them. Nothing gets you back on track than a big shot. Nothing frustrates an opposing defense than 20 seconds into, or 3 seconds to go on the shot clock and you make a big shot. You know what I mean? How deflating is that for a defense? And then that translates to the other end. Yeah, you need an absolute assassin in the 1 or 2 spot in March. Maybe even a small forward, but for sure, yeah, you need a guard who isn't afraid of anything.
Love that. So we'll stick with you, Jack. What is one early upset? I love the San Francisco pick. I think that's something that's not on anybody's radar. But what's one, maybe round 1 or round 2 upset that you have in your bracket from a gut check reaction? And what's one team, not a 1 or a 2, but maybe a 3 or 4 or 5 that we could see, or even a 6 go to the Final Four? Because we saw Oregon State do serious damage out of nowhere last year. Obviously, UCLA was in the play-in and they went deep. So gut check reaction, a team that can get bounced early in a major upset, and a team that's not a 1 or a 2 seed that can go very deep.
So flashback a year ago, this day a year ago, Illinois won the Big Ten title, the Big Ten conference, and everyone was super high on Illinois, and they lost in the second round.
Yeah,
I was so high on Illinois. I thought Illinois was awesome.
Yeah,
couldn't get out of the first second round. Couldn't get out of the first weekend. So I'm going to apply that logic to say that Iowa will lose to Richmond. That, as a person who was in the building for Jalen Suggs' shot against UCLA, sorry, Travis, that emotional high is so real. And these are 18 to 22-year-old kids. Like, they need time to come down. They won the Big Ten. They cut down nets. They're probably partying this afternoon into this evening, and rightfully so. And that's a Richmond team who's going to be ready for them. So yeah, just applying the logic I learned from last year and fading the Big Ten tournament champions. I'm gonna pick Richmond over Iowa.
It's a wild one.
Yeah,
you're giving us a lot of heat in this podcast, man. What's one team that is not a 1 or a 2 seed that you think could win it all?
As far as winning it all, I'm not sure about winning it all. I do like the fact that you got teams like I said, I'm still kind of high on Memphis just because I like how they were playing late in the year. Although I didn't like how they got blown out by Houston in the championship game. I did like them as being my sleeper team. I know they got to play against Gonzaga to get through that. No, my bad. My bad on that, Jack. But I do like that fact. I do like the fact that Iowa is on there as well. They're a team that I forgot who said it before, but they can score in pretty much all positions. Whether you have somebody that can't, the shooter's not shooting, whatever. You have the point guard to come in and do this thing, and then you got the versatile big on their team as well. I think those two teams are my sleeper teams. Not sure if I would count them in to win it all, but I do think those two teams will be able to, do some damage and go far in the tournament.
Nice. Travis, what's one team, a top tier team that you think could be upset early on?
I guess if it's not really an upset, I guess now the Iowa State LSU, because of the coach got fired today.
That's a cop out. What else you got for us?
All right. I was actually looking at it as we speak. I think Houston. People kind of sleeping on them because they don't really watch Houston a lot. Houston's been playing a lot better lately. They're 29-5. I think they match up. They can beat Illinois in that second game. I think Houston can do some damage. And for some reason, I like Iowa because they can shoot at all 5 positions. Their center can shoot. Guards, I watched the Big Ten tournament, and like I said, dude, they were just racking them up with them threes, man. And if they get going, they could beat anybody in the country. I mean anybody. They can rack them up. With them is like the defensive side, I think, with Iowa. But they, like, as far as threes goes, and Virginia Tech, because they're hot, they just came up. They smacked Duke. No offense, Sheldon. I didn't mean like that.
They smack. They beat us. You didn't say smack.
Okay.
They're about to smack Texas, so you can use that. You can start using that lingo at the end of the week, man. I have zero faith.
Those 2 guards they got can shoot it. They move the ball. They finish around the basket well, and they, I think they're on a roll. They have it's all about going into the tournament on a good note. It's you never really see teams lose like the last 4 or 5 games and get to the Final Four. It's always teams that at least won a couple.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Virginia Tech, Iowa, and then I think Houston will be my 3 that can get to the Sweet 16 if they, if things, kind of bounce right.
Yeah. Vinny, what's one major upset you're looking at in your bracket early on?
I'm gonna stay in that same region as Travis. I don't think Illinois is going to be around to face Houston. I think Chattanooga could knock them off, and it could
4-13.
A little replay of what they went through last year. I know they don't want to hear it up there in Champaign, but Chattanooga, the Mocs, the Fighting Terrell Owens could get in there and
dude. Every year, 5 versus 12, 6-11. Always one of them goes down. So somebody gonna go down. Probably 4-13. The last couple of years, it was 2-15. So. You know what I'm saying? It could happen. Could happen.
What 12 seeds do you see winning though? Because it sounds like you like Iowa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like Iowa as a 12. And who else? I like Iowa. I think Davidson could beat Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? Like as a 12 versus 5. I mean, no, that's 10. Davidson's 10. I'm sorry.
I think your best bet's probably if IU beats Wyoming. And I
don't know. I think Wyoming can beat St. Mary's. I watch Wyoming. They're not bad.
What do you got? Jack, you've seen St. Mary's up close and personal. How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah. So I mean, St. Mary's. I would rather be constipated for 2 weeks than play St. Mary's. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is such a frustrating brand of basketball they play, and they do it so well. They slow the game down. So that's tough to prepare for. If you have, Wyoming or Indiana, they're going to have 2 days to turn around and face St. Mary's. You know what I mean? If you have 5-6 days, that's cool. But St. Mary's is a good tournament team in that they're impossible to prepare for adequately in 36 hours.
You got that prune juice sponsorship, Reed.
I need it, man. Vinny, let me know.
Hey, man, I didn't mean to take the podcast in this direction, but I did 2 months in Italy, pizza and pasta. Careful what you wish for with that 2 weeks of constipation, my guy. That is a tough road to go down. All right, guys, we'll close it out here real quick. Give me everyone's final 4, and then we'll go around. And we'll give everyone's favorite March Madness memory from the gents who played. It could, of course, be from you guys playing, but it could also be from you guys watching. Final 4. Jack, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'll go. I'll stay true to my Zags out of the West. Sorry, Sheldon. Then I was in Las Vegas last night to watch Arizona UCLA. Arizona, if they get Kerr back, they, I think, are the best team in the nation. So I'll pick Arizona to make it out of, what are they, the East?
Mm-hmm.
The South, okay. South. And then, you know what? I kind of like, we talked about you need momentum going into the tournament, and Auburn does not have momentum right now, but I think they turn that into a good thing. I think Auburn, is pissed off right now. They've had to watch TV for 3-4 days. Everyone talking about how they had a big letdown in the SEC. I think Bruce Pearl can turn that around into something positive. And then, how about Purdue? Because I don't feel right picking UCLA or Kentucky with my guys on the podcast. So I'll just go Purdue.
Purdue?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Who doesn't love a good pot stir? All right, talk to me, Vinny. What's your final 4?
Man, it's wide open. We've been saying that, and so we sit here and try to read into it and who's doing what and who's been consistent and all that. But at the same time, it's wide open. So this could change tomorrow or Wednesday, but this is crazy. I'm Kentucky and Arkansas, who is not the same team at home, but I'm just picking them to get hot and make a run. And like you said, sorry about that, Jack. And then on the other side, this is just wild because it is truly wild. I'm Providence getting to the Final Four for the first time since Rick Pitino and Billy Donovan and whatever.
Whoa.
And Villanova.
Wait. Did you say Providence?
Pure craziness right now, man.
Oh, you going just straight like we gonna go off the ball? Okay.
Pure chaos right now, man.
I'll get the same haircut as you if Providence makes the Final Four.
Oh, there we go.
I'll get rid of the nice the Southern Cal blonde hair. I love the Villanova pick. I put my money on betonline.ag for Villanova to win it all. Go to betonline.ag today. Use our code BELIEVE. Get a welcome bonus. Who doesn't want that? Sheldon, who's your Final Four, man?
Just like what Vinny was saying, it's going to change. But kind of piggybacking on him doing more I guess the upsets and everything, I'm going to go with some unfamiliar picks myself.
Mm-hmm.
So out of the South region, I guess I'm looking at Houston.
Whoa.
Out of the Midwest, looking at Iowa. Out of the East, looking. I'm gonna go Indiana.
Did he say Memphis?
No, he said Iowa.
Okay. I thought you said Memphis out of the West. Who'd you pick? Up? We haven't gotten there.
We got a Midwest. And then out of the West, even though I'm not confident going on right now, but they play better on the road than they do anything else. I'm going with my team Duke.
Okay, so we have Duke.
If I didn't go with my team Duke, I do like the fact that Bama might be an underdog team too.
Wow. We had an Indiana in there. I had a Providence. Look, I think it's safe to say that anything can really happen. This is the most wide open it's been. Yeah, I think it's great for the sport. It's going to be great for this time of year.
But not Providence. Not Providence.
You
No.
say that. We'll all raise our eyebrows and stuff. I'm like, and then be like, well, it could really happen at the same time because that's just what kind of year it is. I mean, maybe it's crazy. Even though we're trying to break it down and analyze and like, oh, there's no way because of this, and this. They got so many weaknesses, but at the same time, pretty much anything is bad on the table this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to file a grievance real quick, and I think I've been fair. I've been critical of Gonzaga on this podcast, but I will say, how does this happen? Gonzaga's lost 3 games this year, 2 of which two teams that they lost to are in our bracket. Alabama and Duke. How is that fair? In what world is that fair?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Everyone could hold this up for you, Jack. They're small violins, and we could get a little orchestra going for you as the top overall seed. Look, Jack, when we met at the top of the year before Texas played Gonzaga, I told you that Timmy and the Bigs were going to dominate us. I had no faith. And I still think Holmgren and Timmy can really carry you guys. I think you guys could take care of business against Bama. I think Duke's still a tough test, though, of course.
I think Gonzaga and Duke are very similar teams. Really good bigs, and then guards who are good. But Sheldon, maybe you disagree. I need to see more out of my guards. And sometimes the Duke guards let me down a little bit. You know what I mean? So the strength of Gonzaga and Duke, certainly in the front court, we've got NBA guys in the front court. It's just Gonzaga's fate will be decided in the backcourt, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that too. I mean, the Trevor Kills y'all saw early in the year hasn't been the same.
We saw him.
We saw him. Yeah, early in the year. I'm saying the same Trevor Kills you saw early in the year hasn't been that same one, throughout the rest of the season too. So yeah, I agree. I mean, if we can get at least 2 guards playing, consistently, we have a good chance. It's just that we don't know if Trevor's gonna play well. Roach gonna play well. We know that Wendell Moore is gonna be all stat filler. He's not gonna be a guy who's gonna be trying to we're gonna go out and get 30 points. He's going to try to get all the stats and everything. He's gonna flirt around with a triple double. But as far as that, if we can get 2 guys on the actual perimeter that actually can be consistent, then we're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
A really good team, trust me. We're already a good team, but a really good team.
Yeah, I think Griffin is like the X factor for you guys. If he can get hot from deep, because he's a great shooter, that's going to really make the world of difference. All right, last question, everybody. We'll start with you, Sheldon. What's your favorite March Madness moment ever? Could be you playing, watching, anything.
Well, my favorite story. Well, I'm gonna be biased because I played. My favorite story, I guess, would have to be my sophomore year. The team that I thought should have won the whole thing, they wound up having the championship game, in my opinion, in the Final Four versus the actual championship game. But that year, we had lost to Purdue in the championship game of Alaskan shootout.
Mhm.
And we came together as a team and pretty much made a contract on the board. And we all signed it, and Coach K wouldn't sign it until he saw the work we put into it. And then we wind up going 20-something games straight without losing a game.
Wow.
And that team right there was a special team just because we all love playing with each other. We all love hanging out with each other. You know, most teams you don't have, like, you know, people actually hanging out all the time. You might be forced to do, like, team activities, but we love hanging out. And that was a great run for us because we all was over here just, you know, playing well. Unfortunately, we lost to UConn in the Final Four that year, but I thought that was my best story. But as far as watching, I love Cinderella stories as long as it's not against my team. You know, like you said earlier, Vinny, with the Lehigh and the Mercer. As long as it's not against my team, I love the Cinderella stories too.
When it comes to Duke alumni, Shelden, are there cliques between guys who have won a national championship and not won a national championship? You know what I mean? That sounds like an asshole question, but I'm actually kind of curious.
No, it's kind of funny because we were there for the Coach K weekend, and like the 01 team was talking noise to the 99 team who had, like, you know, Trajan and Eldon and all those guys and everything. And the 99 team talking about, oh, we're better than the 01 team. And then me, I'm like, I can't say anything because I had no dog in the fight because I didn't win. I'm like, 01 actually won. So how y'all even having the conversation? So it's funny how you said that because it actually does go on. That was my first time experiencing it. But they have a whole text thread with each other. They all won a 01 team and everything. I'm like, dang, can we get like a 04 trade? Like, you know?
That's so interesting. It just goes to show life is high school.
Yeah.
Life is high school, man. It's hilarious.
That 4 team was it Reddick, Dang, you, Duhan?
Yeah, Dan Ewing. We had
Dan Ewing.
Charlie Randolph on the team. Yeah.
And then y'all went against Okafor and Ben Gordon, who, shout out to Ben Gordon, is one of the most underrated players I've ever seen live in my entire life.
Yeah, there's 7. I think it was Okafor, Ben Gordon, Charlie Villanueva, Hilton Armstrong,
Josh Boone.
Yeah.
Some other players. I can't remember right now, but yeah, it was. I mean, Marcus Williams. They had a really good team.
Yeah. They were really good. Talk to me, Travis. What about you, man? What's your favorite memory?
I would probably say when we went my freshman year, we played in Atlanta, Georgia. We beat Tractor Trailer in Michigan to go to the Sweet 16. They had just won the Big Ten championship. He predicted they was going to go to the Final Four. And then we were like coming in, like we came in third in the Pac-10 at the time, wasn't even Pac-12 yet. Show you how old I am.
You look good, man. You look good.
You know, funny side story about that. You know how old I am. I used to play with Kurt Klee's dad, Valmo Kleeza in Estonia. I used to hold him as a baby. I used to pick him up, put him on my shoulders, and now he's a starting point guard for Arizona. I was like, man, I'm old. Okay. Now, back to, like I said, we beat Tractor Trailer and them. We end up losing to the national championship team in Sweet 16 in Kentucky. In that region, Kentucky was in it, where they had Nazi Muhammad, Jamal McGlure, like Wayne Turner, Scott Patchen, a bunch.
Shepard and all those guys,
yeah. Yeah, Shepard. It was all of Rick Pitino's talent, but Tubby Smith was coaching it. And then Duke was in that. They played Duke the next game in the Elite Eight. I remember that. And like, I want to say that 98 Duke team was special too, with Elton Brand, Shane Battier,
Joe and
like Trajan Landon. All those guys was on that team. On that, like the 99 team was good, but that 98 team was real special too. They had a lot of talent.
McLeod.
McLeod was on that team. Chris Burgess, even though he didn't play, shout out to the boy from Cali. They had like 10 McDonald's All-Americans out of like 13 players.
Crazy. Talk to me, Vinny. What's your favorite March Madness moment?
Well, I'm old like Travis, so I got a lot of them. Watched a lot. That 98 team, getting down 17 to that Duke team and battling back. Duke didn't have timeouts. Tubby refused to call a timeout. He just kind of ISO'd Wayne Turner on Wojo, and Turner just took him off the bounce, over and over and over again, and some clutch threes and all that. Aaron Harrison hitting all those threes, to beat Michigan, to beat Louisville, beat Wisconsin, that kind of stands out. Playing Louisville in the Final Four, your arch rival in 2012, on the way to a national championship. Non-Kentucky, the first championship game I remember watching with my dad, 87, which, hated Indiana, but they won it. Keith Smart hit that jumper. If Syracuse wins, that's another one for Boeheim. So the perception of Jim Boeheim is totally different. If Keith Smart misses that jumper, he has at least 2 now instead of the 1. So that's just some of the stuff that stands out. Oh, and another non-Kentucky, and this is no shade against anybody because there's no Virginia host in here, but when the 16 beat the number 1 Virginia, we saw that history made. Number 1 seed has never lost to a 16. We never saw it. Saw some 2s beat some 15s through the years. Finally saw a 16 take down to number 1. I know DeAndre Hunter was out, but there's no excuse. We saw UMBC drag Virginia to be the first number 1 seed to get knocked out of the tournament. That one stands out too.
Smack them. Absolutely smack them. All right, Jack, close out with this question.
I mean, it's Jalen Suggs, and it's not close.
Oh my God!
Sorry. I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm not going to lie, Travis. It's an unbelievable moment. That was actually. I'm younger than all you guys. I'd like to point that out. So I don't have as much game experience, but that game was obviously awesome, instant classic. I think everyone would agree there. But the best neutral site game I've ever been to, Shelden, was actually this year in Vegas, Duke Gonzaga. There was something about T-Mobile. It was like 50-50. It was so much fun. And I know that's not a tournament game, but I had an absolute blast at Duke Gonzaga. And I hope to go again at Chase Center in a couple of weeks. Will you fly out to San Francisco, Shelden, for the Elite Eight game to see Coach K's last game?
Whoa.
It's going to be a special moment.
Not even a smile on his face when he said that stone cold killer comment.
Wow.
He's been planning that one all week, man.
I had to sneak it in. I've been polite, I feel like.
Yeah. All right, guys. Awesome stuff. 30 seconds left. Jack, who cuts down the nets? Who wins it all? Go.
I mean, this is going on my feed, right? I have to say Gonzaga.
Boom. Shelden.
Like Jack said, going my feed.
All right, we're going down the line. Travis, I know where you're going, man.
Come on, UCLA, Final Four back to back.
And
Let's go,
Vinny,
baby.
are we going home? Are we going hard? Are we going head? Where are we going? Who wins it all?
Kentucky gets banner number 9, baby.
Yeah, okay. Love it, guys. Love it, guys. We got Jack Ferris, Believe in Gonzaga, or the Jack and Sack Show with Robert Sacker. Go check him out. We got Travis Reed, Believe in UCLA, Vinny Hardy, Believe in Kentucky, and 2-time Defensive Player of the Year to the ACC One Duke's Legends, Shelden Williams, representing Believe in Duke. Everyone, good luck. This is the Believe Podcast Network. We'll see you next time.